How's it going, everyone? So, I've been streaming Turtle WoW pretty much exclusively on this channel for the last month or so. Now that I've hit level 30 and I'm at around 60, 70 hours or so of gameplay, I wanted to make a half-point review because, I know it's not actually halfway through, but I thought level 30 would be a cool little milestone. Plus, I've played 2 characters so far, so I wanted to give my first impressions and thoughts, and so far, I really like Turtle WoW. The first character I made was Nath live. I was planning on playing a Feral Druid, Tauren Druid on the Horde. Always been a Horde player. I played them for 33 hours, all the way to level 23. I did a lot of herbalism and skinning farming on them also. Most of my first impressions were from this character, but after beating Wailing Caverns, I just wasn't feeling it. When I first played Classic in 2020, I wanted to play Druid, but I knew it sucked. Whereas this time, it was good, actually. Turtle WoW Druid is actually really good. The problem is it just wasn't very fun to me. I think just something's changed. I decided to re-roll into a different character. So for this character, I decided I was going to stream my entire journey in Turtle WoW from level 1 to 60. So now I've hit level 30 with this character. It's Nath Be Dead, Undead Warlock. I've been playing since. I think we're on day 9 now of playing. Well, we will be on day 10. Currently 42 hours on this character, and I've reached, like I said, level 30. And so let me give my, first impressions. So what I really liked about Turtle WoW from the get-go was how simple it was to get. Go on the website, turtle-wow.org, and right there it has the sign up and it has the download client. And so I downloaded the client, made an account. This was before the launcher. So I just downloaded the client, opened the game, it works. First thing I noticed was that there was only 2 realms, which I really liked, as WoW realms are usually complicated or they lose population or they never get popular or the faction balance is super out of whack. So it was really nice just seeing 2. And I picked Nordinar, probably knowing it was the most popular one. And I was also just surprised that even though it was only 2 realms, how populated these 2 were. I think I played on Telebeam for a second, but definitely Nordinar was more populated. But still, for 2024, as a private server, I thought it was really well off when in terms of how many people were playing. So I made a character. I made my first Tauren Druid. This was not Nath Be Live, and I'll tell you why in a second. When I logged in, it did feel a little janky because I was used to the classic client. This was the original vanilla client modified. So there was some jank to it, but I would say that's a negative, but there are client fixes you can download afterwards, which I found out later, which just completely get rid of those problems. So that's honestly so far my one of like 3 major negatives, which wasn't even negative. It's just not out of the box. But I think with the launcher now, it's a little easier to get those fixes. So, but when I hopped in, everything felt like classic WoW. I didn't really even I didn't know how much was different in Turtle WoW at this point. I just knew it was free, and that was a big deciding point for me because I don't have any money. But now if they're playing, I really want to donate, and I highly recommend you guys do too if you do play Turtle WoW or get into it, as it really, dude, it's awesome. So I didn't really notice anything. The only thing I noticed at first was this guy named the Mysterious Stranger, and so I was excited, and so I spam clicked everything he told me, and then I was gonna play with my friend, and so I ran my ass all the way to Durotar as a Tauren Druid. And then I tried inviting him to my party and I realized I was a hardcore character. And then I got off. But the next time when I logged in, I made my new character. And this time he wasn't playing with me, so I was playing in Mulgore. I did not click on the Mysterious Stranger. So I didn't notice anything different. But the first thing I'll tell you that I did notice, and this one small change was basically what really solidified what Turtle WoW meant to me and what their message was. So I was doing my my regular leveling, and a bag dropped off a mob. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, dude, lucky drop. I know that shit's rare. And then like 20 minutes later, another one drops. And I was like, oh, they must have changed that. They changed the bag drop. And so, and that sounds like a simple change, but when you think about all the different versions of WoW that Blizzard has made for Classic Fresh, Classic Season of Discovery, there's no good changes in those. They're all gimmicky. They're all selling point changes. They're never actually good. And that was one small, simple change. And I realized that that one change really encapsulates what makes Turtle WoW good. And is that they've managed to take the old designs of 2004 that are just simply outdated, or they're just not good, or they never were good, and have just completely reworked them or changed them or made them, less inconvenient, while keeping the best game designs and choices of Classic and retaining that charm. Like, instead of making fast travel super fast, they added more checkpoints. So now you could Zeppelin from Thunderbluff to Orgrimmar or to the Badlands. Or now there's more flight paths. There's more areas to fly to. There's these small changes that they've done that have kept classic, but made it, not a pain in the ass. So as I was leveling, the one thing I will notice, and this has nothing to do with Turtle WoW themselves, is the community was really friendly. People are willing to quest. People are nice or chilling. Everyone is laid back, especially since they're not spending their hard-earned money. Well, I imagine that a lot of them aren't, and that probably leads to not caring as much. I feel like some people probably get a little bit more caring about things when they're spending money, but still, I've seen a lot of donators. I've seen lots of people with skins and special mounts running around. So I imagine that a lot of people are donating, and I personally want to at some point, because they've done a great job. They've done a lot more than just maintain a server. They've maintained a server, updated it, moderated it, made great changes, just made changes to it, and then made great changes to it. Have a good team, added quests, added zones, added just a whole bunch of shit. And somehow it still feels like Classic. It doesn't feel different. Doesn't feel different enough. And so I played that character, and playing Druid, by the way, in Turtle WoW is awesome. I didn't personally like it, but it had nothing to do with Turtle WoW. I just got bored of it as time has gone on. As a kid, I liked it more, but I'm more of a Warlock guy. But the Druid was good. It trust me, it did damage. Even playing as a bear was fucking fun for the leveling from 10 to 20. But I played through that. I got all the way to Wailing Caverns, and the zones are nice. People are always playing, talking. There's lots of guilds. It's active. And so that'll bring me to another thing I like about Turtle WoW is the add-ons. A lot of the add-ons are nice. However, it's also a bad point because a lot of add-ons that you're used to in regular Classic don't apply here, because they're made for the Classic client, not the Turtle WoW client. And so Questy doesn't work. You have to use a different questing add-on. And some of these have better, worse, changes or so, but it's not a huge deal in my opinion. But for some, it may be annoying that if you're an avid Classic player, that some of your add-ons aren't going to work. But with the launcher now and the more people playing, it's going to get better and better. The other change I like is the events. In this Discord, they're constantly announcing events for the game. They had the Alt Olympics, where making alt give you rewards. They have transmog in Classic, which some people may or may not like. I think it's a great idea. I think at first it feels a little jarring, but for the long term, it's a great thing, I think. And giving you rewards to help you get transmogs and stuff like that. There's just all these little changes, these little things in the world that make it feel a little bit more lively. Oh, best change by far in total. Well, not best change, okay, but really up there. Level 20 mount. Level 18, but level 20 mount. At level 18, you can do a quest at the Dark Moon Fair to get do this elaborate quest chain. It's not just buy the mount. There's elaborate quest chain. I had to go from Mulgore through the Barrens to Ashenvale to Zorgrim Outpost, kill these things, and then get the turtle, go all the way back. But it's a turtle mount for Turtle WoW. And you get to ride this from level 20. It's not super fast. It's just faster than it beats walking. And I love that. And so that's a great change that I feel that a lot of elitism is held over in original Classics. You have to waste all your time to get the level 40 mount. Bro, it's not that deep. So now there's level 20 mount, which is awesome. Especially because I play a Warlock who has no movement abilities. That was amazing, because when I played my original Warlock, so much time just fucking walking, and my friend played a Hunter, and his ass had just aspect of the cheetah was just running around, and I had to sit there and I couldn't even quest with him because he was just faster than me. he was leveling way faster than me. So that's one of my favorite changes. Another one is just that the class reworks. Now, funny enough, I'm playing a warlock, and a lot of people have said that's the worst class change so far. But so far, I've been having a good time. I mean, it doesn't feel super different, or not to say it's different, but it doesn't feel super different like progression. Like I haven't been suffering or anything. At the same time, I had some handouts while streaming. So one of them being a wand, so I didn't have to use a mana a lot. I've heard the mana usage is more compared to before, but so far I've been having a blast, and I hope that it keeps being a blast. I've been playing Affliction Warlock, which I guess is like one of the lowest DPS now, but I'll get there when I get there. Another great change, possibly contentious, cross-faction gameplay. You can party up with other people in the other faction. You can create alliance and horde characters on the same faction, on the same realm. There's still, even in the non-PvP server, there are these glyphs that you can do for these challenges. And one of those challenges is PvP. It gives you extra XP, but you have PvP flagged all the time. You hit two birds with one stone. You've got PvP on the non-PvP realm, and it gives you a little bonus. Personally, I would have liked a version where without the bonus, but you know, I'll take the 20% XP. This was on my druid. I'm doing the normal no XP gain on this warlock for that, and I don't want to get sniped. But speaking of those glyph changes, they have slow mode with extra rewards. They have a Cartman glyph challenge from South Park where you have to only kill boars to level 60, and you get a boar mount. Super cool. I think like three people have probably done it, but it's just fucking, it's stupid, but it's like it doesn't hurt the game. Like it's just an addition that is welcome. There's lots of other challenges, self-found, and that are kind of less they're less artificial. They're in the game. Like they're coded into the game to make it easier to do those challenges that normally are just like you just say you do, and then you have to, you know, trust your own self-discipline. I'm really a fan of the cross-faction gameplay simply because it's a private server. I understand it can be perfect. I think in a perfect world, they wouldn't do that because they'd have multiple realms to play on. But it's a great way to fix a problem in their circumstance because they only have one or two realms, one being mainly the populated one. So that's the best thing they can do. And it doesn't interfere enough, as proven by me playing. I haven't heard anyone complaining about it. So it obviously means it's not as big of a deal as people thought it would be. Now is for my number one problem with Turtle WoW. And this problem I don't know how to fix. And so I'm not going to blame Turtle WoW because I don't think it's their fault. It's simply, no matter what they do, it would not be good. And that's how hardcore is dealt with. So at first I thought it was super cool that you could play hardcore. And I still think it is. And also, but that's not something you choose before you make your character. That's something you choose afterwards. You make your character, you log in, and then you talk to an NPC. The problem with this is that when you're a hardcore or non-hardcore player, and you're doing, let's say, this is the one I remember the most because there was a clip of me getting pissed. But luckily I won. Is Baron Longshore at Ratchet in the Barrens. It's his boss that it's on a respawn timer. And so in any normal classic leveling situation, you would see if someone else is nearby and be like, hey, are you doing Baron Longshore? Yeah. And then you invite them, and then you both fucking kill the boss, you get your reward. However, in Turtle WoW, hardcore characters can only interact with other hardcore characters and vice versa. What this means is if there's a hardcore character next to you and you're not hardcore, you're both gonna fight for that. And one of you guys have to wait an extra 5 minutes or more. So one, it makes it hostile. It makes people not like each other. I know from me. Okay, when I see a guy who's not a normal character about to get a reward that I've been waiting for, and they're gonna fight me for it, I've already been here for like 5 minutes, and you're gonna come here and try to cuck me? No. But I jokingly get mad at them, but it's not their fault. It's a mechanic of the system. The problem is that if you were to make a hardcore only realm, not only would they have to transfer all those hardcore characters to that realm, but you just split the player base. Now, I don't know if it's 50-50 or 80-20, but no matter what, you're making the game more dead. you're isolating people. And so I don't know how this would be fixed. I don't think it is making another realm because simply there aren't enough players. If there were enough players, I think that would be the choice, but it's not. And in fact, I just prefer one populated realm. So the best thing I could think of doing, which don't even know is possible, would be a client tweak in which when a hardcore character kills a quest mob or something like that, that the respawn timer, it changes if it's on the client of a non-hardcore. So if you're a hardcore character, you kill the mob, it's dead for you, but for the normal players, it's still up, or it respawns much faster. Maybe just make the bosses respawn faster so it's not as big of a deal. The worst is an escort quest. Having a hardcore player hit an escort quest and then you not being able to join is like time to wait 5 hours to do this one quest. Now you might say, oh, just don't even do it, but that's an arbitrary way of solving a problem. The goal would be that you could do the escort quest because it's a part of the game you want to play. So that's my number one problem with Turtle WoW right now is hardcore character interaction, because there's a lot of them. It's quite a bit. Also, there's no native way to see if people are hardcore, and the only way I'm able to tell is if I right click on them and try inviting them. And if they end up being not hardcore, and then it's like I invited some random dude to my team, I'm trying to see if he's hardcore or not. So they should either publicly advertise an add-on that everyone should use that shows if you're hardcore or not, or they should find a way to add it to the native client, because I find it, unless I'm blind, I may just be blind, but I find it confusing and annoying to deal with that part of the game. But other than that, I mean, most of the game is just awesome. It's just classic but better. It's the classic plus experience everyone's been wanting. One other problem I have, which has been addressed, and I hope they can get at some point, I know it's hard because the client is hard to fuck with, is the quest log limit. For a game that is pushing convenience, one of the things they haven't been able to address is the quest log limit of 20. Don't know why whoever made that, Blizzard, fuck you, because there's no reason. You want to go quest in this zone, but you want to go quest in another zone, so you're just having to, or not even in the same, like in the Barrens, I had to like abandon quests to just fit my quest log because of the mix with class quests and then dungeon quests. It's like I was purposely holding off on getting dungeon quests until I was ready to do it because I had other quests I was doing in the meantime. So for that, I hope they could get that addressed at some point. Basically, that's it. Those are my thoughts on Turtle WoW. I highly recommend getting it. turtle-wow.org. Download, sign up, boom, play. It's free. The worst case, you don't like it, you don't play it. That's what I love about it. That's the best thing about free to play. And I highly recommend download or donating if you have the money. I don't have the money, so I can't. But if I had a job, I would. So yeah, level 30, about 70 hours of gameplay now, but 40 on this character. I'm going to continue my journey streaming, so if you enjoyed this, I'll be live here on this channel every day at 8:30 in the morning Pacific Standard Time. I stream for usually about 4 hours or so. I'm just leveling up, doing dungeons, questing with people, and have a good morning, have a good evening, have a good night. Later.